So we are looking at the paper of December 2021, which was a pilot paper, December 2021. It was a pilot paper. And question one says, question one inasema, identify 6 merits of grapevine communication in an organization. Merits of grapevine communication. Now, this one, we can get it from our notes. If you look at lesson number 3, where we talked about the informal communication. And in the informal communication, we talked of the advantages. So the question is asking 6 merits of grapevine communication. So here you are supposed to give us the advantages. The first one is fast and effective. Fast and effective. Number 2, free environment. Free environment. Number 3, better human relations. Better human relations. Number 4, easy solution of difficult issues. Easy solution of difficult issues. Number 5, satisfies needs of workers. Satisfies needs of workers. And number 6, you can say no formal procedures. No formal procedures. No formal procedures. So those ones are some of the reasons why grapevine communication, the so-called informal communication, is good. We have talked of being fast and effective. It creates a free environment. There is better human relations, easy solution to difficult issues. It satisfies social needs of workers. And then we said it creates, or it is good because there is no formal procedures. Part B inasema distinguish between active listening and empathic listening. Empathic listening, we are taught to distinguish between active listening and empathic listening. So in our notes, we talked about active listening, but I want to give you another definition or a similar definition to that. So active listening is a communication skill. Active listening is a communication skill that involves going beyond, simply hearing the words, going beyond simply hearing the words that another person speaks, the words that another person speaks, but also seeking to understand, the meaning and the intention behind them. The meaning and the intentions behind them. So that is what we are calling active listening. So we are saying active listening, you are not just hearing the words, but you want to pay attention to know what is the meaning and what is the intention of this person. That is what we call active listening. You hear, you seek to know, to understand the meaning, and you seek to get the intention. Why is this person saying what they are saying? That is what we call active listening. Let's now define what we are calling empathic reasoning. Empathic reasoning, and we write that it is being aware of. It is being aware of and understanding the feelings and emotions of the speaker. Being aware of and understanding the feelings and emotions of the speaker, as well as the words that they are using. Being aware of and understanding of the feelings and emotions of the speaker, as well as the words they are using. So this empathic, it is what we have been calling getting into the shoes of a person. So when you're getting into my shoes, you are seeking to know what are my feelings, what are my emotions. Other than listening to what I'm saying, you try to imagine what kind of emotions I'm going through, what kind of feelings I'm having. Maybe I'm crying, maybe I'm happy. You get to know the feelings and the emotions. That is the difference between active listening and empathic listening. In other words, both of them are keen listening, but active does not recognize emotions, but while on the other side, empathic recognizes emotions and feelings. Part C inasema examine 5 ways in which written communication could be made reader-friendly. What are some of the ways that you can use to ensure that anything you write is user-friendly? Number one, identify and clearly state the goal. Identify and clearly state the goal. Identify and clearly state the goal. Number 2, use the right tone. Use the right tone. Use the right tone. Number 3, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Number 4, stay on the topic. Stay on the topic. Another one is proofread. Proofread the writing. Proofread the writing. So those are some of the ways you can ensure that any communication you do in writing is user-friendly. Ensure it is very, very clear in your mind. Why am I communicating? Why am I sending this message? Very, very clear. Number 2, ensure that you use the right tone. You use words that are courteous, words that are not threatening. The other day we were discussing about unethical behaviors in communication. So avoid them. Use the right tone. Avoid the use of shoutings and exclamations. Ensure that you keep it simple. Use very plain, very simple, very basic, very elementary language. Wacha kutumia jargons, wacha kutumia vocabularies. Then make sure that you stay on the topic. If you are discussing about money, then simply discuss about money. Don't go to discuss about climate. Don't go to discuss about farming. Discuss what it is that you are discussing. Stay on that topic. And then ensure that you proofread. It is always very, very important before you release the data that you have, make sure that you are able to proofread. Let's go to question number 2. In the context of communication process, define the following terms. Define the following terms. One is called encoding. Encoding. Now, encoding, tulisoma hiyo when we were talking about the communication process, I think in our topic number 1, na tukasema encoding is the process of turning thoughts into communication. Process of turning thoughts into communication or into a message. Encoding is the process of turning thoughts into a communication or a message. Yeah, once you get a thought, you encode it, you make it a message. You send it so that now on the other side, they do what we are calling decoding. So decoding is the understanding and interpretation of the message. Decoding is the understanding and interpretation of the message. Decoding is the understanding and interpretation of the message. Next, number 3 is feedback. Feedback is the response. The response or reaction. Is the response or the reaction or information given. Or information given by the recipient of the message to the sender. Is the response or the reaction or the information given by the recipient of the message to the sender. The recipient of the message to the sender. So that is what we call feedback. So tumesema encoding is where you turn the thoughts into a message. And then decoding is where whoever has received that message interprets it and gets a meaning. And then feedback is now the information they send back to you, or how they react, the action they take, or the reaction that they show. Okay. Let's go to part B. Outline 6 ways through which management could enhance effectiveness of vertical communication. Ways in which you can enhance vertical communication. Again, you can remember, I think in our last lesson, we talked about vertical communication. I think in the last exam, walikuwa wametuuliza the forms. Wakati tulikuwa tunaongea about report writing and so on. Sasa now they are asking us, how can you improve vertical communication? Number 1, tumeuliza tuseme 6 ways. Number 1, build a culture of open communication. Build a culture of open communication. Build a culture of open communication. That's number 1. Number 2, personalize communication. Personalize communication. Personalize communication. Personalize communication. Number 3, encourage employee-generated content. Encourage employee-generated content. Encourage employee-generated content. Number 4, recognize and value employees. Recognize and value employees. Another one is create channels for employees. Create channels for employees to express themselves. Create channels for employees to express themselves. Another one is encourage the readers to be original or to be real. Encourage the readers to be original or real. So those are some of the ways in which we can ensure that there is a very, very effective upward communication. And we are saying, number 1, encourage your leaders to be real. I don't know whether you have ever met some people and you realize they are fake, they are hypocrites. What they are showing you in the face is not what exactly they mean, or what they are saying by their words is not what is in their heart. It's not their intention. Now, that is a person who is not real. And if people realize that you're not real, they will just cut your communication with them. It is very, very disturbing to communicate with people who are hiding some cards under the table. Ensure that you create channels for people to express themselves. The other day, when we were talking about the upward communication, we talked of suggestion boxes. We talked of the drip boxes. So create channels, create mediums, how people can communicate. Then we are also saying that recognize and value employees. Hata yule wa chini kabisa, let them know that they are important. Let them know that any point they are raising, it is taken with a lot of weight, and it can be implemented. It can help. It has a place to help in the organization. Lakini ukishida ukidharau watu na kuonyesha what they say is useless, then even when they will have a very important point, they will never raise it. Let them know. Even when in your wisdom you know what they are saying is useless, don't show them. Let them know that what they are saying is important and you appreciate their feedback. Then encourage them to give you what they have generated. Let people be real. Let people not just go and get information that is not real. Let them generate their own data. Let them give you what they have from the ground. And then personalize communication. Make it personal. Let it not be so official. In as much as there is an office that must be respected, but there is a way you can move from your big office and come down to people and be a man of the people or be a woman of the people, and they will talk to you. And then we also say, create what we call open communication. And open communication, we normally call it open door policy. Now, open door policy is where people who are coming to your office, they don't need to book appointment. They can just pop in anytime as long as you're free and they talk. So si hoja ya kuambiwa that kama unataka kuona mkubwa, you must make an appointment 5 days in advance. Now, some things may not wait for the 5 days. So those are some of the ways that we can take to ensure that we move on that. Haya, number C inasema discuss 4 merits of effective listening. The merits of effective listening. Hii kitu ya listening tumekuwa tukiangalia almost in every paper. I believe those who are following, you can be able to tell that. And we have talked so much, but today we are also going to talk about the benefits of effective listening. Tumeulizwa 4 of them, so I'll just mention 4. Number 1 is that it builds trust and strong relationships. It builds trust and strong relationships. It builds trust and strong relationships. Number 2, it helps to resolve conflicts. Helps to resolve conflicts. Helps to resolve conflicts. Number 3, helps from missing information. Helps from missing information. Another one is it builds more knowledge. Builds more knowledge. Another one, better understanding. Better understanding. And another one is identification of problems. Identification of problems. So here we are saying that if you are able to listen keenly, like now when we are in this lesson or wherever else, you are able to build what we call trust. You are able to build what we call strong relationship. If you are in a relationship where you are listened to, you feel that you are highly valued, you can trust. Then in case there is a conflict, you can easily resolve it because munasikizana. Sijui kama umewahi jipata mahali where nobody is listening to anyone. Kila mtu mdomo yake imefunguka, kila mtu ni maneno yake. Now in such a case, you can never resolve a conflict. But if there is an opportunity for you to be listened and for you to listen, then the conflicts will be solved. Actually, in communication, we normally say that before you seek people to understand you, seek to understand them. We normally say understand to be understood. Understand to be understood. So now you can only understand me if you listen to me. You give me an opportunity to speak. I can only understand you if I listen to you. And when I listen, nijue hata ulikuwa umesema hii si sababu ya hii, hata hukuwa na ubaya, hata hukuwa na hii intention, ilikuwa namna hii, hiyo wacha tumalize tusonge. But if no one listens, then you can never resolve that conflict. The other thing is you get all the information. You don't miss the information. You get everything because you are listening. Hakuna kitu inakuruka. You know, there are times when you, as a speaker, umeongea alafu nasikia mtu akikwambia hapo umesema nini? Rudia from sentence 1. Na sasa hiyo uko sentence 15. Unashangaa huyu mtu alikuwa wapi? So it is very, very important that you don't miss. Another thing is you are able to get a better understanding. You are able to get good knowledge of what is being spoken. And you can even tell a problem. You can even be able to tell a problem. Even when I'm teaching you here, if you are listening carefully, if I happen to make a mistake, you'll be able to tell that Mwalimu now has moved out of the topic, Mwalimu now is in the wrong, or you can anticipate, you can even identify. But kama hufuati, wewe utastukia tu mambo imeenda mrama, you are not able to tell. Good. Let's go to question 3. Question 3 inasema highlight 8 benefits of using nonverbal cues in a communication. Again, hii maneno tumekuwa tukiongelea about nonverbal cues, and from these papers that we have done, today we are doing the 4th paper. You can be able to see the pattern venye hizi vitu zinajirudia, which will still be the same case next week but one in your exam. These are the same things you are going to get there. So number 1 is it supports your message. Supports your message. Supports your message. Number 2, communicates your message effectively. Communicates your message effectively. Number 3, demonstrates intention. Demonstrates intention. Number 4, expresses feelings. Expresses feelings. Number 5, offers support. Offers support. Number 6 is shows your personality. Shows your personality. Another one, makes the message original. Makes the message original. Makes the message original. Another one is that complements or contradicts the message. Complements or contradicts the message. Complements or contradicts the message. So now, those are some of the benefits of using nonverbal cues. Again, tumekuwa tukiongelea hii maneno, and we are saying they will support your message, they will support you, they complement the message, they also contradict the message, and they portray the intention that you have, and that's why we are saying they show whether you are original, they show your personality when you're using the cues. Unajua mtu akiongea venye anarusha mikono, venye anakodoa macho, venye anatingiza kichwa, mabega, anarusha miguu, you can tell huyu mtu ni mtu wa vita, ni mtu wa amani, ni mtu wa furaha, ni mtu wa huzuni. You can be able to tell the personality, how the person is using the nonverbal cues. And it makes the message to be communicated in a very effective way. In what we say in communication, it makes it to be home and dry. Just a minute, I respond to this call. Just a minute. Okay, sorry for that. Let's continue. Tulikuwa tumefika the benefits. Analyze 6 essentials of a good business letter. Tumekuwa tukiongelea about business communication, business memos, business letters, business reports. Now here we are being told to give essentials of a good business letter. One is clarity. 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 Number 2, conciseness. 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 Number 3 is completeness. Completeness. Number 4 is correctness. Correctness. Number 5 is courtesy. Courtesy. Number 6 is cheerfulness. 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 Number 7 is promptness. Promptness. Another one is appropriateness. Appropriateness. Vic, those are enough. So we are saying that the letter that you write, it must be correct. Don't give us a letter that is full of errors. Give us a letter that is very accurate. Give us a letter that is appropriate. Someone cannot just be late one day and then you start giving them a memo. You start giving them a dismissal letter. You need to give them a letter that is appropriate. You need to give them a letter that is concise, not too detailed. People do not have a lot of time to read. And I was telling you the other day, I have noted, anytime I write a communication, even in these WhatsApp groups that tunatumianga kwa shule, and it has like more than 4 paragraphs. Unapata mtu akikuuliza kitu hapo chini, and it is one of the paragraphs. So what I have discovered is each point unaiandika ikiwa ka separate message. Hako mtu atasoma na amalize. Hiyo point ingine unaandika. So mtu anaona umemtumia 4 messages. Hizo ataelewa because anasoma one by one. But when you combine them as a single message, I think mtu akisoma paragrafu ya kwanza anachoka, anarudi, anakimbia pale chini ama anafunga. So don't give us very detailed letters. Let them be very concise and let them be very clear. What is it that you are saying? Do you want us to be reporting on time? Do you want us to stop leaving the office early? Do you want us to stop absenting ourselves? Do you want us to increase our productivity? What exactly do you want us to do? So all those are characters of a good communication or a good business letter. Now, the next question is question number 4. Question number 4. Now, in question number 4, tunaulizwa, outline 5 roles played by the secretary after a meeting. Outline 5 roles that are played by a secretary after a meeting. So, when we have a meeting, obviously, you know, we have someone called the chair, mwenye ana regulate. Then we have someone called the secretary, mwenye anaandika minutes, and we have another official called the treasurer, wa kuchukua pesa. Now here, each one of them, they have their roles, lakini sasa hapa tunaulizwa the roles of the secretary. And the roles of the secretary, they can be divided into 3 areas: before the meeting, during the meeting, and after the meeting. So before the meeting, the secretary is supposed to prepare, ensure kila kitu iko sawa. I think tulisoma hiyo maneno iko hapa kwa notes. Then during the meeting, anastahili kuwa hapo, aandike minutes, all that kind of stuff. And then after the meeting, now that is what you are being asked to highlight. Number 1 is help with cleanup after the meeting. Help with the cleanup after the meeting. Clean up after the meeting. Number 2, compile a fair copy of the minutes. as soon as possible. Compile a fair copy of the minutes as soon as possible. Another one is file the minutes. File the minutes in the appropriate files. File the minutes in the appropriate files. Number 4 is inform the absent members. Inform the absent members of any information they need to know. Inform the absent members of any information they need to know. Number 5 is write thank you notes. Write thank you notes as necessary. Write thank you notes as necessary. So we are saying when the meeting is over, the secretary should help us in cleaning the room. Kutoa files. Sijui kama umewahi attend a meeting of that nature, but kama hujawahi soon uta-attend, unapata kila member amepewa, like if you go to a board meeting, unapata kila member ako na file zimeletwa, zimewekwa as per the sitting arrangement. Hata kwa hii mikutano ingine, there are those documents, there are those things that will be brought. So it is the role of the secretary, hata kama sio yeye anafanya, at least should supervise. Secretary is more, actually in some places you find them being called organizing secretary. So ni yana oversee that the room imefagiliwa, viti zimerudishwa, hizo files zimepelekwa kwenye zilikuwa zinafaa, kama kuna chakula imebaki, kama kuna anything, the clean up of the room. Number 2 is during the meeting, the secretary is taking minutes, but because mambo inaberelewa kwa haraka, they may not put everything in the right order. So it is required after the meeting, anaenda anakaa chini, anaandika nao vizuri, in a grammatical way, things following each other, in a very good way, ana format vizuri, ana ident vizuri. Then after that, tunasema aweke hizo minutes in the files. Kila member awekewe a copy. Nowadays, nimeona because of the digitalization, we are no longer now relying so much on the files. In as much as iko, unapata sasa ya the copy of the minutes zinarushwa kwa WhatsApp group, ama kila mtu anatumiwa kwa emails, so that we are able to check and to follow up on what needs to be done. And then the other thing is, in case there is a member who was absent from the meeting, na kwa mkutano huyo member alipewa jukumu, or there is very important information that member needs to know, it is the role of the secretary to call that person and mwambie, we held the meeting in your absence, na ukapewa hii kazi, ama ikasemekana hii na hii, please act accordingly. And then you may require to thank some members, especially the invited guests. Maybe you had invited a particular expert to come and talk to you. So you need to tell them, thank you for coming. Thank you for coming to be with us. Thank you for coming to share your knowledge, your wisdom with us. So you write a thank you note. Good. Part B. Identify 5 non-verbal signals that could indicate positive communication. So hiyo mambo ya non-verbal imerudi tena. Some 5 signals that could indicate that there is positivity in the communication. One is maintaining good eye contact. Maintaining good eye contact. Together with that, tunaweza andika ingine, smiles. Regular smiles. Let's put them regular smiles. Sababu huta smile all through, but once in a while you keep on smiling. Regular smiles. Another one is head nod. Head nod. N-O-D. Fanya hivi. So you are nodding your head, even without speaking a word. It shows that you are in agreement. Another one is firm handshake. Firm handshake. Na shika mkono kabisa. Mtu akikusalimia kushike mkono, lakini si afinye. Unakumbuka kwa hii country kuna mtu alisema alisalimiwa na mwingine akamfinya mkono sana. So kuna ingine ya kufinya, unaona hiyo ni madharau. Lakini kuna ile anakushika. Some people even hug. Unasikia huyo mtu venye amekuhug. There is a message that is being communicated. Another one is open palms. Open palms. Mikono. Tumekuwekea mikono hivi. Open palms. Another one is upright and open posture. Upright and open posture. Mtu anasimama amekuangalia vizuri, ako ready na ako cool. Msi ako ready, unajua kuna wengine wanako ready to run away or to fight. Yeah, but ako cool, ready to listen to you. Upright and open posture. Another one is leaning in while listening. Leaning in while listening or speaking. Leaning here, L, kama like now what I'm doing like this, to lean in, leaning in when you are speaking or when you are listening. Yeah. So those are some of the signs that show a positive communication. And the opposite is true. Ukiona mtu anakukodorea macho, unaona anakuweka macho kali. Macho kali. That person is not giving you positive communication. Remember those days back in the village when you were young and you take alcohol. Since then I've changed. We were in a particular place and one of my friends akaangalia mwenzetu pale akamuuliza, kwa nini unaniangalia na macho kama ya mbwa? And I tell you the fight that broke from there. Yeah. Because amesema unaniangalia na macho kama ya mbwa. So mtu anakuangalia na macho unaona hii si ya mwanadamu. So someone is maintaining bad eyes. Let me use that word. The head nod, they are just doing like this. No. Or they are waving. Pana tumekataa. No. When you see someone doing like that, it's again a negative communication. Ama shaking the hand, unapata either amekufinya kabisa ama amekupea mkono tu hivi, ni kama uko na stima electrocute, ni kama amepata shock hivyo tu. Ama hata kukupea mkono hataki. That's negative. Open palms, the opposite. Unapata mtu hataki kusalimia, unaenda kumsalimia mtu anarudisha mikono nyuma, and it's not because maybe of their religion or whatever, because religion is one of the factors that make some people not to shake hands. But there is no such a reason. The other thing is, unaona venye mtu amesimama, unamuongelesha na amesimama akiangalia na huku, ama unaona ni kama ni kuenda anaenda, maneno inamfikia, or they are not, they are leaning out. Unaenda kuongelesha mtu, maybe you want to whisper something to them. So umekaribia kwa masikio yake, unaona nakuhepa hivi, nakuhepa. So all those kind of things, they portray negative communication. Good. Part C, discuss 5 psychological barriers to communication. Psychological barriers to communication. Psychological barriers to communication. One is, when we talk, first of all, when we talk about psychological, we are talking of what is in the mind. Psychology is the study of minds. I keep on telling you I'm a counseling psychologist. I do counseling. I do counseling. So now, one is false assumptions. False assumptions. False assumptions. Number 2, anger. Hasira, anger. Number 3, attitudes and values. Attitudes and values. Number 4, negative self-image. Negative self-image. Another one is fear and defensiveness. Fear and defensiveness. fear, and defensiveness. So those are psychological states that make communication to be a bit affected negatively. Kama unaongelesha mtu ako na uoga, ama mtu ako very defensive, anaona ni kama you just want to attack them. So anything you say, they are ready to oppose, they are ready to fight back. Mtu ako na negative self image, anajiona yeye hafai, anajiona yeye ni bure kabisa, yeye si mtu wa kuongeleshwa. I don't know whether you have talked to some people and they look surprised that so and so can talk to me. Nimestuka, nimeshangaa that so and so unaweza niongelesha wewe. They can't believe. Yeah. The other thing is attitudes. Someone has a negative attitude. I'm sure you might sikia, bona unanionyesha attitude, ama bona alikuwa ananionyesha tu attitude. The anger, unaongelesha mtu ako na hasira. You remember the example I was giving you the other day about one of our teachers tearing down a project paper of our colleague. The other one is false assumptions. Ni mahali umekuwa ukifikiria mtu ni mzuri, kumbe unaona ni bure kabisa. Ama umekuwa ukisema yeye ni bure, then you realize they are gold, they are valuable. They are false assumptions. Question 5. Inasema highlight 6 benefits that could accrue to an organization from use of intranet. Again, hii maneno tulisoma, tukasoma mambo ya internet, tukasoma mambo ya intranet, tukasoma mambo ya extranet. They are there in the notes. But I just want to go straight and give you a few advantages. Tumeulizwa how many? 6. So andika number 1. Improves internal communication. Improves internal communication. Improves internal communication. Number 2, helps employees find information. Helps employees find information. Helps employees find information. Number 3 is boosts recognition and reward. Boosts recognition and reward. Boosts recognition and reward. Another one is provides organizational clarity. Provides organizational clarity. Another one is encourages knowledge sharing. Encourages knowledge sharing. Another one is reinforces your brand and values. Reinforces your brand. B-R-A-N-D. B-R-A-N-D. Reinforces your brand and values. Okay, so those are some of the issues that we find there that benefits of intranet. We are able to improve our internal communication. We are able to share information. We are able to find information. We are able to recognize the rewards and employees, those who are doing good work. We are also able to be very clear. Our company is well understood. Everyone understands what we are doing. Okay, the next one is part B. Part B now is distinguish between interpersonal and intrapersonal communication. I think in our last lesson, the last paper that we looked at interpersonal communication. Na tukasema interpersonal communication is the communication between 2 or more persons. That's what we call interpersonal communication. The communication between 2 or more persons. communication between two or more persons. But intrapersonal, sasa ni yako, intra is the communication with oneself. Communication with oneself is what people call the self-talk. The self-talk, communication with oneself. The self-talk, kujiongelesha. Generally, we do not expect people to talk to themselves, especially in the open, when the others are seeing or are watching. It could signal some psychological issues. But I'm sure you have heard some people say, when you see me talk to myself, don't worry, I own my company alone, and therefore I'm having a staff meeting, or I'm having a board meeting. And it's okay to call a meeting with yourself, very, very important, but it starts to become a problem if in the presence of people, unajiongelesha and unaware, seemingly unaware of the presence of the other persons. That signals some underlying psychological issues. But kujiongelesha, we know this, watu tu tunajiongelesha when you are alone in your room or whatever, we talk to ourselves. That's normal. It is only abnormal kama umeanza kutembea mbele ya watu ukijiongelesha. 5 guidelines that a speaker could follow to ensure effective presentation. What are some of the guidelines that you can follow to ensure that there is effective preparation? Number 1, or effective presentation. Number 1, it has always been preparation. Preparation. Good preparation. Good preparation. Number 2, audience analysis. Audience analysis. Understand your audience. Audience analysis. Very, very important. So tumesema good presentation. Nasema audience analysis. Very, very important. Another one is clarity. Present, let's just talk of clarity. Clarity. Be clear. Be clear. Let it be known what exactly you're saying. Be clear. That's point number 3. Point number 4 is use simple language. Simple language. Use simple language. Number 5, make proper use of time. Make proper use of time. Make proper use of time. Tulisema hapa, kama umepewa dakika 10, use the 10 minutes. Don't seek to use 50 minutes. Tunasema unajua sitasimama tena, lazima niseme hii, lazima no. Mwenye alikualika alitaka uongee only for 10 minutes. You are not the only one speaking. And even if you are the only one, we don't have all the time to listen to you. We have time to do other things. So use time effectively. And another one that can guide you so much is involve the audience. Involve the audience. Very, very important. Let people contribute. Let them share. Let them give you their views of what you are saying, or what is happening. Get stories from them. Yeah. Involve them. Very, very important. Good. We now close to question number 6. Question number 6. Justify 5 reasons why it is important to observe ethics. Why it is important to observe ethics in a presentation. Ethical presentation. 1, satisfies basic human needs. Satisfies basic human needs. Number 2, creates credibility. Creates credibility. Number 3, unites people. Unites people. Number 4, improves decision making. Improves decision making. Another one is creates long-term gains. Long-term gains. Another one is secures the society. Secures the society. Aha, naona kama like someone else is using my email in school. I hope they stop so you can be logged out immediately. Naona hiyo message hapa. But let me continue before we are logged out. So those are some of the advantages of using ethics. Some of the advantages, let me tell them not to use this link. Need to finish the class. Hello? Okay. So we continue. So we were saying when you are using ethics, you secure the society. The society is safe. Why is it safe? Because we are doing the right thing. Like right now in the morning, we were asking, I was asking my wife, hii baridi inanyesha, mvua inanyesha, mpaka baridi, and we are in August. It should have been July. August tumezoea kiangazi. But why is this happening? We are told by those who study environment that these are effects of climate change. We have affected the climate, our environment, and now we can see this, the globalization, the global warming. That's the word, global warming effects. So when we do not follow ethics, we do not secure our society. But when we follow ethics, our society is secure, our children, even the content of the materials that we are giving in communication, we are careful. We don't just stand and speak. The other day I was in a place we were discussing some of our leaders. And you were asking, are they showing us a good example? Because mtu anasimama kwa jukwaa ile maneno anaongea na watoto wako hapo. So is our society safe? The long-term gains, when you become ethical, you gain for long. They say, those of us who read the Bible, that a good name is better than riches. So when you have a good name, when you are known to be ethical, you start to gain for a long period of time. It helps us to improve decision making. We are able to unite people in the leadership. And kuna maneno inaongelelewa na inagawanya watu. And there are some other words that are spoken and they reconcile. They bring people together. And these which bring people together, they can only be ethical. The unethical ones, they separate people. The other one is we are able to be credible, to be accepted, to be recognized that we are worthy. And then we are able to satisfy the basic human needs. So that is good. 5 challenges associated with interviews. Challenges that are associated with interviews. If you are attending an interview or you are the one asking the questions or doing the interview, what are some of the challenges? Number 1, asking wrong questions. Asking wrong questions. Number 2, inconsistency between candidates. Inconsistency between candidates. Number 3, biasness. Biasness. B-I-A-S-E-N-E-S. Biasness or bias. Another one is interview fatigue. Interview fatigue. Another one is dishonesty. 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 So those are some of the challenges you find when you are conducting an interview. You find that you can be asking the wrong questions or you are being asked the wrong questions because it can apply either side. You find candidates who are there, they are inconsistent. Huyu anasema hivi, huyu anasema hivi. Like I normally find it in the TV shows or the radio station shows. Unapata kuna huyu, maybe they are discussing the cost of living. Huyu anasema the government has done well, mwingine anasema the government has failed terribly. So who is telling us the right position? The candidates are inconsistent, even during employment interviews. The other one is biasness. You may find someone is biased. And I said being biased is where you want to favor or to discriminate someone on grounds that are beyond their control. Grounds such as religion, grounds such as gender, grounds such as age, and so on. I normally find it even in the TV shows. Unapata the host, akiongea na person A, akimuuliza swali yeye anampea time mpaka anajibu yake vizuri. But person B unapata ana shida akimudisrupt na wanaungana na person A. So that is biasness. They are not being fair. The other thing is interview fatigue. Unaweza pata sasa umechoka, umefanya interviews, umeongea. Again, that is not good. Then people may be dishonest. You are calling them for the interview. Maybe you want to know some information about something. And they just deliberately choose to tell you lies, to tell you falsehoods. So unatoka hapo with your questionnaires. Ukifikiria you have the correct data, only to go and find it is not working. It's not working. On the ground, it is completely different because someone was dishonest and they did not give you the true position. The other one is about the characteristics of a good report. Characters of a good report. These are things that we know so well. They're just like what we have talked about in regard to the business letters. They're the same, but we can repeat. One is precision. Precision. It's precise. Another one is accuracy. Accuracy. Another one is conciseness. 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 Another one is grammatically correct. Grammatically correct. Another one is complete. Complete. So those are some of the characters of a good report. It should be complete, should be precise, should be direct. It should be concise. Again, not giving us a lot of information that are necessary. It should be grammatically correct. Kizungu itumike yenye inafaa. Use the correct sentence, the correct tenses, and so on and so on. Question number 7. Question number 7 inasema outline 8 roles played by a chairman in a meeting. The roles of a chairman in a meeting. The roles of a chairman in a meeting. So the roles of a chairman in a meeting, we have just talked about the roles of a secretary. Let's now look at the role of a chairman. 1, check the quorum. Check the quorum. Q-U-O-R-U-M. Check the quorum. Number 2, call the meeting to order and declare it open. Call the meeting to order and declare it open. Another one is welcome all the persons present. Welcome all the persons present. Another one is introduce the agendas. Introduce the agendas. Another one, state the guidelines of the meeting. State the guidelines of the meeting. Number 6 is ensure everyone has a chance to express their views freely. Ensure that everyone has a chance to express their views freely. The chance to express their views freely. Another one is be fair and balanced. Be fair and balanced. Another one is preserve order. Preserve order. Another one is rule on disputed matters. Rule on disputed matters. So there we are saying that if you are the chair and we happen to have a conflict, you are the one to rule on it. You are the one to say that now that the votes is mekataana, this is the way forward. And the voice of the chairman is a resolution in its own. Cannot be disputed. Then ensure that there is order, ensure that the rules are being followed, ensure that you are fair, you are balanced, kila mtu amepewa a fair deal. Then introduce the agenda items, ensure that you give the directions. Unasema tutakuwa tukiongea hivi, hii agenda item inachukua 20 minutes, hii inachukua 30 minutes. Kama sijakupea nafasi ya kuongea usiongee, nikikwambia uongee lazima ukue umesimama. So give the guidelines on how the meeting will be conducted. Maybe kama uko na swali, you already do it in writing, and so on and so on. Call the meeting to order, welcome the members, and ensure that you have checked the quorum. Quorum is the minimum number of persons that must be present for that meeting to be legally binding or legally okay. If you do a meeting without a quorum, the resolutions will become null and void. Part B, Highlight 6 benefits that an organization could achieve from effective communication. Benefits of effective communication. When people are talking, not only an organization, even persons. Mimi na wewe tukiongeleshana vizuri. What are the benefits? Number 1, better relationships. Better relationships. People create better relationships. Better relationships. Number 2, handles conflicts better. Handles conflicts better. Handles conflicts better. Number 3, builds empathy. Builds empathy. Empathy, tumesema to understand the emotions and the feelings of the other. Builds empathy. Another one is increases self-awareness. Increases self-awareness. And the last one is that it builds trust. Builds trust. So when there is good communication among persons in an organization, we are saying people create better relationships. You are able to relate well because you are communicating. I told you the other day that kuongea kuzungumza ama kusemezana ni kupendana. The relationships are built in a better way. There is trust because there is communication. When you don't talk, people build assumptions. The false assumptions that we have just talked about a while ago, that tukasema those are barriers to communication. But when you are communicating, there is trust, there is better relationship. People are able to handle conflicts well as they arise. I think I've already explained that. The other thing is you become empathetic. You are able to understand the emotions, the feelings of this person. You are able to know where they are coming from. You are able to fit into their shoes. And that becomes very, very important in communication. And it helps you to be aware of yourself. When you listen to people, when you hear them talk about you, you also become aware. Unasema, hey, kweli nakuanga hivi. Kwa hivyo mimi niko namna hii. You get to know yourself better. Or even when you listen to others or you see others, unaona kweli hata mimi niko namna hii ama siko namna hii. Good. Finally, explain 3 factors that could guide a presenter while choosing a topic for presentation. Umeitwa mahali to present something. What are the 3 issues that you need to really focus on? 3 issues. Number 1, how much do I know about the topic? How much do I know about the topic? How much do I know about the topic? Number 2, am I passionate about the topic? Am I passionate about the topic? Number 3, will the audience be interested in the topic? Will the audience be interested in the topic? Will the audience be interested in the topic? So that is a set of 3 questions that a good presenter must ask and answer. Number 1, nimeambiwa niende nikaongea about finance bill. How much do I know about taxes? How much do I know about finance? Do I have the knowledge? That's a very, very important question. If yes, if I know about finance, nimesoma finance, niko na degree, niko na CPA, niko na nini. Am I passionate? Is it something that I like doing or talking about? You see, a person like me, if you are to tell me to talk about communication, I like it. But if you tell me to talk about taxation, in as much as I'm an expert in that area, I don't like mambo na tax so much. You tell me to talk about mathematics, I like them. I'm passionate. I can talk mathematics. I can do mathematics the whole day, the whole night. So are you passionate about that which you have been told to go and talk about? The other thing is, will the people be interested You know, you could be talking about the finance bill. Na wale unaongelesha, they have no interest. Whether finance, hata wengine hawajui kama kuna kitu inaitwa finance bill. So what are you telling us? We don't want to hear about that. It bothers as nothing or no extent. So, and this is why we have been saying you need to do what we call audience analysis to know whether these people will be interested ama watasikia anaongelea mambo ya finance bill, acha tujipe shughuli. So you need to really understand those things. So that brings us to the end of that paper. That is good.